In 9 of the last 10 years, in 9 of the last 10 finals, the team that has won game 1 has gone on to win the national championship. And straight down the hatch, number 15, Logan Tom, pounds her first kill.
A little bit more on game 1. Just how important is it to Long Beach State? They're 33-0. They have won the first game in every single match they've played this year.
No other team in volleyball history has ever done that. And the spike off the block, out of bounds. So Brittany Hochaver, the top server for the 49ers and one of the great servers in the country. She has 80 aces this year. Set, ready to rip.
Both teams with the matchups they want. John Dunning wants Logan Tom on Cheryl Weaver. This is Long Beach's strongest rotation.
That's not an ace by Hochaver, but it results in a point. Weaver gets the kill. Long Beach ahead 2-1. Hochaver again. Great momentum on this serve. And tremendous heat. Lewis on the run. Hochaver, free ball, Nishimoto. She is roofed. Cheryl Weaver has Logan Tom on it. They're destined to be 2004 Olympians teammates, but not right now.
Logan Tom, the best slide blocker in the country. That's why John Dunning wanted her matched up in 3 rotations against Cheryl Weaver, getting exactly what he wants early.
Now Logan Tom may have either the first or second best jump serve in the country. She serves it, Weaver around the horn. Namani into the antenna. Aguna Namani, she's great. 6'1" freshman from Normal, Illinois. And Long Beach goes up 3-2. The #1 high school recruit in the country last year. Stanford getting the best recruiting class. Now Lindsay Phillips comes in the backcourt, a junior from Huntington Beach. She serves it. Here comes Logan Tom out of the middle, and she puts it away. So Long Beach wing blockers bailing out Heather, and Tom gets her second kill.
And that's an interesting matchup. I think Stanford probably the best team in the country out of system. When you've got players like Tom and Namani, you don't have to pass well or have the ball control to still get points. If you're Long Beach State, you have to be in system to get your points.
Sarah Sandrick going to check in for Stanford in the back line, and set to serve is Cheryl Weaver. Weaver, a 6'2" senior out of Washington, D.C. Pretty good pass by Tom. She passes a lot. And Ivy, who is kind of an erratic hitter. She's an outstanding when she's on. She's a 6-foot junior from Arlington. 225 kills, but she makes some errors.
Well, and I think Ashley Ivy was really the X factor, the reason that they beat Nebraska in 3 in the semi. She was absolutely huge.
Aguna Namani. She made a second-team All-America, and now Ashley Ivy will serve it. Down 29-25 to Nebraska. Ivy served 6 in a row to get that first game win in the semifinals. She's got a rocket. And she serves the ace. What makes Ivy serve so good in your mind, Heather?
Well, she keeps the ball in front of her. Watch how high the toss is. She keeps it in front of her. It's a lot like an attacking motion, so she gets the velocity. It's got a little bit of side spin as well, a lot like a knuckleball. 2 aces now for Ivy.
Ivy is spreading early here in game 1. 6-5 Stanford. Stanford with its second lead of the match. Stanford led at 1-0. Another great serve. Nishimoto goes and gets it. First spike for Taiba Hanif. And she rips it straight down.
And Chris, that's the problem. At 6'7", Hanif hits right over the block. So if you're Stanford defending it, you need to creep in. I also think you soft block. You break your wrists a little bit on the block. The defenders need to come into the middle of the court.
Nishimoto, pretty good serve. 6-6 game 1. Free ball for the 49ers, and it goes down. A misplay by Long Beach State and a good placement by the card. So Stanford, ranked 3rd in the nation, coming in. And Namani will serve the floater. Pretty good pass there. Next play, here comes Hanif. And she rips it through. Now, Denise Corlett, the assistant coach for Stanford, told us they would try to wait a little bit on Hanif and jump a little bit later.
Well, especially if she's off the net. On this X, they just need to have communication. I think they need to get 3 people up. But yes, Denise said block it like it's a down ball, almost like it's a back row attack. So you want to wait. You also want a soft block, which means you bend your hands backwards instead of pressing over the net.
Hanif with the spinner, could be a point. Taking a rip at it was Elisha Thomas, the other middle blocker for Long Beach State. And the 49ers on the attack. Thomas coming around the horn. Great dig in the backcourt by Ashley Ivy. Tip. Long Beach pops it up. Weaver keeps it in play. 7-7, game one. Around the horn and the put away. And that is Sarah McGee, sophomore from Davis, California, having a big year, her first kill.
Very physical, and if Stanford can have a presence out of the middle, that only helps them. They rely on their outside attack, but if McGee can open things up, it splits the block for Tom and Namani.
Emily Lawrence is in, a defensive specialist and a digging machine. Nishimoto sets left, Ashante Taylor, and she BBs it. Now Taylor is, well, she's the fifth option of the 5'10" senior from Phoenix, but she can get hot.
And she is certainly a target. Stanford will go after her in the service rotation. Just her first-year starter. They want to rattle her.
Little tip shot, and that's going down.
Now somebody to keep your eyes on, number 31 red, Robin Lewis, the setter. That set was a little bit low. Lewis had to get down on her knees to go after it. She has been battling chronic arthritic knees all season long. She could barely walk yesterday, hardly took any reps in practice. She needs to be able to move or get great ball control from her team.
Nice dig by Lawrence. One of the keys for Stanford might be how much production do they get from the other outside hitters besides Logan Tom. Ashley Ivy dug by Nishimoto and slamming it down, Cheryl Weaver. Now Weaver is mad because she was considered for the National Player of the Year, and Logan Tom beat her out. Well, it's certainly two of the finest players that have ever come around the pike. And now Hochaver will serve it. We'll follow her at 9-9. And that's an ace. Boy, we set up the servers and they are serving it.
Yeah, both Hochaver and Ivy have come to play, and a lot of times in all the finals we've done, all the coaches say serving is the first thing to go in a match of this magnitude. Well, these two teams and programs, so rich in tradition, they're not nervous.
10-9 Beach, Logan Tom. Kerry Nishimoto is blocking Tom. I told this story in the semifinals, Heather, but maybe people missed it. When Karch Garai was on the USA national team, he had trouble with a smaller blocker. Well, it'll be interesting to see. Tom, no problem that time, but Nishimoto did block one back.
No, and if I'm Logan Tom, that's the exact matchup I want, especially when your setter is getting you one-on-one, holding Weaver in the middle, leaving you with only Nishimoto to go by.
Effective serve by Logan Tom. It's 10-10. Back set, here comes Ivy, and Ivy smokes one cross court. Ashley Ivy, a 4.2 grade point average, wants to be an orthopedic surgeon, and she'll position herself at the net. Now, Logan Tom will serve it. Game one, glad you're with us on ESPN2. Live volleyball for you, the national championship match. And Oguna Namani pounds it down.
This is exactly what Stanford wanted, a quick start, get Long Beach on its toes, get them into a chaotic system, a little bit out of system. You'll notice they have a very fast offense, but when they don't pass or block well, things can go downhill in a hurry.
Logan cranks another one, that's out of bounds. I tell you, that would hold true for both teams. The team that passes the ball the best today will most likely win, whether it be John Dunning or Brian Gimolero. You've got to pass the ball somewhere near the setter.
What that does is it gives you a 3-attack offense, makes it harder to block. The pass really ignites every other aspect of the game.
Lindsay Phillips, transfer from Pepperdine, serves it out of bounds. And Brian Gimolero's 49ers trailing by 2. Once again, 49ers have not lost a game one all year, let alone a 3 out of 5 game match. Now set to serve Tara Conrad from Torrance. And she floats one long. Historically, serving has not been good in national championship matches, Heather, just because players are a little bit tense. Weaver with the serve. Nishimoto out of the back line, and Weaver missed it.
And once again, out of system. That is a ball control error by Long Beach. They didn't get the offense that they wanted. Stanford off to a great start, hitting .438 as a team.
And Ivy serves it out. So both teams serving some balls out of bounds. Stanford with their 4th service error. Long Beach has 1. John Dunning, a graduate of San Diego State University, and now Kerry Nishimoto will serve it. What improvement she has made this year. Set left, Namani over the top, and Namani knuckled it. That's normally a dig for Weaver. Back at the Cox Arena here in San Diego, California. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. Stanford with a 2-point lead over Long Beach State. Series history, Stanford with a big lead, Heather, kind of surprising.
In fact, I talked to Don Shaw at the hotel yesterday, the former coach of the Stanford Cardinal, and he said, you know, Pacific and Long Beach, yes, they had the rivalry, so Dunning and Chibulero had it, but you know, we never had a very intense rivalry with Long Beach because, quite frankly, we always beat them. They've been very successful against the 49ers in the NCAA tournament, and they rarely meet in regular season play.
Don Shaw, the most successful coach percentage-wise in NCAA volleyball history with 4 titles. He's now coaching the Stanford men as John Dunning has taken over, so a little change of scenery for Big Daddy Don Shaw. There he is. Has to have some mixed feelings about watching today, and right next to him, Russ Rose. So some analysis going on over there in the front row.
Penn State, Russ Rose coached Penn State. They've certainly had some historic battles against both Stanford and Long Beach for championships.
Stanford started celebrating a little bit early, 16-13, and that cost him. Oguna Namani ran back thinking that that play was down, and Long Beach scrambled and got the ball up. So that could be a key play here. We'll see.
You know, Chris, it's interesting. You look at the series history, but these two teams met earlier in the year. They met in September. Long Beach State won 3 games to 1, but both of these teams drastically different since they played.
Big hit by Sarah McGee, and of course, as we pointed out in other matches, Long Beach State getting a jump start by playing some matches in Europe and going 7-1.
After the miscommunication, I like the idea by Lewis going right back to McGee, establish the middle, and so far, Stanford showing good balance and distribution offensively.
Emily Lawrence in to serve. Good pass by Weaver. Back set for Shaver. Shaver got blocked. Conrad was there, and Logan Tom was there.
Watch the way they move in unison. Lateral movement. Conrad gets to the gap and closes it. Drops that left hand. Doesn't get her hit there, but gets her hand there.
Stanford outblocked the #1 blocking team in the nation, Nebraska, the other night. Logan Tom over the top. Great dig in the backcourt by Cheryl Weaver. Quick set, slam dunk by Tara Conrad. So Stanford taking it to Long Beach right now, up by 5, 19-14.
You know, Nishimoto giving the officials a little bit of a stink eye, not liking the tips that she's seen out of the middle. Thought that Conrad may have carried that ball. So far, the middles have gotten 4 kills off of tips to those wing players.
Lawrence continues to serve. And they're serving Weaver. Nice up by Nishimoto, and double contact called by our first referee today. Our first referee is Mary Holly Blaylock. Second referee, Tana Martin. There's Mary. I think that was a pretty good call. That was a, as my friend Mark Jacobs used to say, that was a mismangled ball. 20-14. Hanif, and Long Beach playing very tentative. Stanford rolling. Logan Tom popped up. That's legal. Right side, Hochaver takes a whack and puts it down.
You know, Long Beach needs to get Taiba Hanif the ball a little bit more. They're getting it to her sporadically. I don't think she's in a rhythm yet. She's hitting a lot of off-speed shots.
There is Hanif in the back row at the moment. She's a pretty good back row player. That could have been called a lift. It was not. Hanif will set. Sets a beauty to left side. Taking a whack of it was Phillips. So Phillips in the left front now. And she hits it off the head of Lewis. Stanford goes and gets it, but it's out of bounds. So Lindsay Phillips is going to play in the front line, which is kind of a surprise, but she is in there for Ashante Taylor.
Yeah, Phillips is a transfer from Pepperdine, blew out her ACL in her knee. September of last year, has been rehabbing it. Only back row, just sporadic appearances in the front row throughout the season.
Logan Tom smacks one through. She's from Salt Lake City, Utah, 6'1" junior, and she can play. 21-16 now. Lewis gets the serving signal. She will serve. Good pass. Nishimoto sets left, and Phillips rolls one in on the line.
Stanford will take gambles blocking. They'll commit in the middle against Weaver. That leaves the one-on-one on the outside. Good recognition by Nishimoto going one-on-one to Phillips.
Long Beach State's best rotation with Hochaver serving, and she smokes a heater. Wow. Not only can she hit it hard, Heather, she can hit it wherever she wants.
Watch the way she turns her right wrist, going deep into area 1. That right back corner is wide open on a 3-person serve receive.
Hochaver again, coming over the net and tapping it straight down. A minute ago, it was 21-19. It was 21-16, Stanford. Cardinal looking pretty. Brittany Hochaver got to the service line, and she's been there ever since. Now 21-19. Can she get it in after a timeout? Let's up a little bit. Shank pass. Stanford's not very good on these plays either, except when they do set Logan Tom. Now Logan, 1998 High School Player of the Year, 2000 Olympic team, the first Stanford volleyball player to play in the Olympics and then come back and play some more college volleyball. So she's played against the Russians, the Cubans, and just about everybody in the world. Who can forget that memorable comeback she led? The United States coming back to defeat Korea and get into the medal round. A little different perspective on volleyball. 22-20, Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox at the Cox Arena. And Long Beach with Carrie Nishimoto. Did Nishimoto get some of that? She got it. Weaver was there too.
Watch the low point of attack. Ogana Namani needs to hit a little bit higher. She waits for the ball to drop right into Nishimoto's hands. She needs to hit it at its highest point.
Namani may go right over the top here. No, they set the quick, and Weaver is there. The only undefeated team in 1998, his. Then Nebraska able to go undefeated last year at 34-0. Here comes Logan Tom, and Tom buries it. Does Stanford need to start setting Tom more in the back line?
Well, I think so, especially with the matchup that they have right now. I don't think this is the matchup they want. Ogana Namani does not hit line, so you really neutralize having Nishimoto blocking line out there because Ogana hitting into the hands of Weaver. So I think you need to use Tom out of the back row.
Conrad got it in. Nishimoto. Karen pops it up. Hochaver feeds it over. Namani is available. They set her, and she crushes it right by Nishimoto.
Now, if you can get Ogana one-on-one, you're in good shape. But once you get Weaver's hands in the picture, you see how Ogana likes to drop her shoulder and hit cross court. She hasn't shown us yet that she can hit down the line.
So if you're Nishimoto, you're going to be moving in very, very soon. Set left, here comes Hanif. And a beautiful dig in the back part by Conrad. Weaver is there, tries to slam it. Ivy. Hochaver, set right, nobody up. Oh, and Weaver tipped it into the antenna.
Boy, that's huge, because that's the advantage of having Hochaver as your right side player. She is trained as a setter. In fact, she was the starting setter a year ago. You saw Weaver call to see. She can audible because of Hochaver's hands, but goes right into the antenna.
3 in a row after the timeout. Now the missed serve.
And Chris, that's crucial. We saw it when Arizona played Long Beach. They had 5 missed serves in the first game. Now 6 service errors for the Stanford Cardinal in game 1.
25-24, Stanford. Lewis sets left, and Namani over the top of Nishimoto.
Give Lewis a ton of credit. She's taking a quick peek at the opponent, checking out the block, and getting Namani one-on-one. Weaver committing on the middle on Sarah McGee.
Tom and Namani carrying the load. Here comes Ashley Ivy. Stanford up by 2. Nishimoto sets left. Hanif down the hatch. We're in San Diego, California. We're expecting the largest crowd to ever see a women's sporting event in the city of San Diego. We'll add up the numbers later. I'm Chris Marlowe along with former Pacific star Heather Cox. Game 1, live volleyball on ESPN2, Stanford and Long Beach. Been a seesaw game 1. And Heather, you suggested, and rightly so, that the 49ers need to get the ball to Taiba, and they're doing that now.
Hanif has become a factor. 4 kills now, hitting 57%, so I think you've got to give them swings. But when she hits the roll shots, Stanford has got to dig those.
Hanif with the block. She was a basketball player in high school and a track star, and she can get up. 27-26. Lewis in trouble, over to Namani. She tips it right over the antenna into the middle. Thomas, Hochaver gave her the set. Namani, tip. Nishimoto's there. Hochaver slam dink. And Long Beach up by 2, 28-26.
Lewis has got to look for Tom in the back row or go to the middle off of a good pass, relying way too much on the freshman.
Stanford made an amazing comeback against Nebraska. Tom with the tip, and Long Beach punches it out of bounds. I think that's a pretty good play, though. Hanif had seen a couple drop behind her, so if you get a chance, just poke that thing up.
And now Logan Tom moving into the front row. Namani now serving. This is exactly where Stanford wants to be.
And Logan Tom is in the front line. Oh, it's out of bounds. So Stanford, a crucial serving error by Namani. And Long Beach is going to have 2 game points. Serving is Hanif, the spinner coming. Will they set Logan Tom? They do. It's low. Popped up. Chance for the win here. No! Tom is there. Logan Tom.
And we know that Stanford can come back. We talked about the fact they were down 25-29 in game 1 to Nebraska. Ashley Ivy served 6 consecutive points.
Rally scoring. Games are to 30. You have to win by 2, so this is the big one for Stanford. Second game point for the Beach. They put the ball down. This game is over. Set left. Phillips off speed. Coming back over. Trying to jam it was Thomas. No. A swing for the win. No. Weaver pops it over. Set left. Logan Tom. See you later. And Long Beach lets 2 game points go by. Hard to put Stanford away. 29 all. Once again, win by 2 now. Passes off the net. Phillips on the left. And she hits it out.
Not only has Long Beach not lost a game 1 throughout this season, they have only lost 6 games all season, most recently against 20th ranked BYU in the end of November. This is unfamiliar territory for the 49ers.
Look for number 6, Hochaver, to get it. I think she's in the right front. Stanford for the win in game 1. Nishimoto off ahead, it's still going. Stanford puts this ball down. It's going to Logan Tom, isn't it? Logan Tom, and she puts it away. Let's see how Long Beach State reacts after losing their first game 1. Robin Lewis, the setter for Stanford, did a good job. Taiba Hanif hit pretty well, hit .571, but Cheryl Weaver hit 0. She had 3 kills and 3 errors. She made some blocks.
But I think you need to look at the number of swings that Hanif took, just 7 swings. For comparison's sake, Logan Tom took 18 swings. I think the 49ers need to utilize her a little bit more.
If they can get her the ball. Nishimoto back set. Trying to whack it was Weaver. Hochaver goes and gets it. And a free ball for contact. And Brian Gimelero's up questioning that call. As that ball smacked down. If you're a blocker and it touches you, then you get 3 touches afterwards. But she was hitting the ball, and it glanced off her forearm. Hochaver pops it up. They set. They scoop it over. That's 4, isn't it?
That's a good call.
Oh,
right. If it's a block, it doesn't count. But if it's an attack, it does.
And Long Beach, you're talking about out of system, Heather. They're out of system at the moment. Lewis sets left. Tom Tippy. Nice play there. Coming around the horn is Weaver, and they're blocking Weaver. Logan Tom and Tara Conrad. Ashante Taylor back into the front left. Backslide, and the block hit Conrad, so Long Beach gets a much-needed point.
And Weaver needs to explode. John Dunning getting the matchup he wants. He wants Logan Tom blocking Weaver on the slide. I think Nishimoto should start mixing things up with Weaver. Keep her on the 1, keep her in front of the setter a little bit more. Go after Tara Conrad.
Tom. Boy, it's amazing how much pressure Brittany Hochaver puts on the Stanford serve receive. When she whacks it, it's hard to get that nice pass, set, hit rhythm. So Hochaver has scored 5 with her serve. Shank pass, scoop it to Logan Tom. Weaver and Nishimoto out there. Tom hits it again. Weaver got that one. Tom hits it again and blisters it cross court.
And that's the difference, Chris, so far in this match. When Stanford is out of system, in chaos, relying on its outsides, it's scoring points. Long Beach needs to score points with good ball control, running that fast tempo offense they're so known for.
Short serve, 3-2, here comes Weaver. And the hit is off the block. I saw John Hastings from Volleyball Magazine, and he picked Long Beach to win this match. But he said if Logan Tom goes off, if they can't stop her, then Stanford will win the match. And I think that's it. They've got to slow her down.
And I think the way you slow down Logan Tom is you limit her touches. Don't serve her the ball. Don't go after her. Don't let her block the ball. You know she's going to get her swings, but don't let her touch the ball any other time throughout the match.
Set away from her a little bit, certainly, if you can. Ivy flew one out of bounds. So Long Beach State takes its first lead of game 2. Stanford won game 1, in case you just joined us. 31-29. Logan Tom, number 15, has been the hitting star. And Long Beach touched the net.
And Long Beach doing exactly what I said that I didn't think they should do. They serve her, that gets her in rhythm. Outside hitters love to get served so that they can get right underneath it and get in position to hit the ball.
Well, they love to be served if they're good passers like Logan Tom. There's some of them that don't like that so much. So here comes Tom serving. They'll set to Hanif. And Hanif gets it out, turning it down the line, missed it. So Stanford back on top, 5-4.
Good point scoring rotation for the Beach right now. Hanif and Weaver up with Nishimoto. Nishimoto needs to spread them pin to pin though. Make it tough, don't run right at the Stanford block.
Tom misses the jump serve. It would seem that the longer the match goes, the better for Stanford, in my opinion. Although Stanford's already won the first game, so it may not make much of a difference. Hit 174 in the loss. Today, she's lighting it up. Namani and Ogana Namani. Pile drives one.
The thing that you have to remember, the first time those two teams met, Logan Tom had missed 28 practices with Stanford during two-a-days because she was competing with the international team. She had just gotten back to Stanford, was a completely different player. I think Stanford's a much different team now than it was when they faced Long Beach earlier in the year.
Bad pass by Long Beach, resulting in a Namani kill, and it's 7-5.
Conversely, I think Long Beach a much better team as well because of the improvement of Taiba Hanif.
Weaver. Hanif out of the back line, Hochaver. And Hanif with a tap down. You know, we talked a little about Long Beach's record when they win game one, obviously, as Hanif hits it straight down. But since 1987, Stanford is 41-1 in the NCAA tournament when it wins game one. So that is a good omen for the card, wouldn't you say, as Namani tees off.
Well, volleyball's such a game of momentum, and I think any player would tell you that the confidence and momentum that you gain from game one, especially in a match of this magnitude, is absolutely invaluable.
Ashley Ivy, and she's under our jib camera. Look at that. So she moves away to get a little better run up. (8-6) Stanford. Ivy set to take off. And she serves an ace. Nothing bothers her.
Give the assist to the jib operator. A little more time to think about it. There's a look from the jib.
3 aces for Ivy. 9-6 Stanford. Hanif. Taiba Hanif now with 6 kills. She's hitting 500. And now she will serve. Ashante Taylor back into the front line. You see Stanford getting the best of hitting percentages at the moment. Namani. Wow, Namani looks great.
Just unloading.
Got a slow start in the semifinal, but not in this one.
You know, John Dunning said before the match she had that look of a little bit of nerve and fear in her, and he said, you know what though, she always looks like that, and she always surprises me with her gutsy, courageous performance.
This is the rotation that Long Beach got stuck in at the end of game one. And Brian Gimalera going to take a early timeout. Ogana Namani, the top freshman in the country, set to serve. Long Beach lost game one. And Cheryl Weaver and the gang trying to pump it up here in game two. Been a tough day for Long Beach so far. Hochaver with a rocket down the line. Suggestions for Long Beach, Heather Cox?
Well, I think they need to attack the middle of the court a little bit more. I think they have this speed and height advantage in the middle of the court over Stanford. McGee and Conrad just haven't been a big factor in this match so far. So establish Weaver a little bit more. Keep her in front of the setter too. Stay away from Tom's block.
Long Beach State not doing much at the block. Blocking for the 49ers, they have just 2 blocks. Hochaver has both of them. 12-8 game 2. Once again, Long Beach State undefeated, just like their 1998 squad, which went through undefeated. Emily Lawrence serving. Left side, Taylor covers her own play. Stanford chance to get another point right here. Set to quick, tip, and missing it was Tracy Bull-Karen.
And Chris, that surprises me because Long Beach State, one of the best defensive teams in the country, they always have scrappy DSs, but the middle blockers for Stanford have found success tipping in that wing position where that left back needs to cover. Emily
Lawrence has served 10 points. And Stanford into the net. So make it 13-9. Stanford coach John Dunning, Pac-10 Coach of the Year, 18 seasons at Pacific. What a job he has done on the farm this year. Lewis sets left, and Tom, they're giving her way too much. It's interesting, she doesn't mind challenging Weaver. She has Nishimoto and Weaver, and she just hits it cross court on Weaver.
Right, you would think that Tom would go down the line over Nishimoto, but you know, Long Beach hasn't found a way to stop Logan cross court, and that's her bread and butter, so she'll stick with it until they make her move.
Logan hitting over 400. Weaver's the one they have to get off. Here goes Taylor, cross court, Tom pops it up. And Tom chopping down the line. Nishimoto got a piece of it. And Hanif, nice job by Taiba Hanif to adjust.
And one of the rare points that we've seen the 49ers get when they're out of system, and that's a good sign for Long Beach. Nice transition game this time. Nishimoto using Taiba Hanif out of the backcourt. Keep another offensive weapon when you don't have ball control.
Lindsay Phillips in to serve. Over to Tom, and Tom smokes it. Did they have Nishimoto in the middle that time? It looked like she was moving in the middle here. Yeah, no, she's on the outside. Boy, she's got great power, doesn't she?
Tom just taking a ton of swings too, and she's got the strength. She can keep this pace up for 5 games. That is not an issue.
As Hanif thunders it through.
Now Stanford needs to adjust on Hanif. She is coming way inside, looking like she's going sharp cross court. Conrad needs to take a step inside, at least try and soft block that attack.
15 to 11. Pretty good block there. Hochaber goes and gets it. Set right, Hanif. And Hanif gets the kill. Hanif has been unstoppable. You know, it's kind of hard to block her because there's no player in the history of the United States that has ever played like her.
Exactly.
6'7".
You know, Dave Rubio, the head coach for Arizona, said on Thursday, hey, the only way we can match up with her is if we bring Luke Walton over from the men's basketball team. Otherwise, she is going to get her kill.
Long Beach starting to make a move here. No! Thomas is stuck, and she is having trouble. They're committing on the Long Beach State middles, and it's hurting the Beach.
Well, Stanford has so much confidence in its block on the outside in both Namani and Tom that, yeah, they're okay leaving them one-on-one on the outside. They'll commit and jump every time Long Beach's middles do.
Conrad's serve is just out. That's a good call by the linesman. Hit in the red, just out of bounds. Conrad goes out, and checking in is Sarah Sandrick. Sandrick, a senior from Pelham, Alabama. Now, Nishimoto will serve. Crucial game 2 for Long Beach State. They trail by 3. Hanif is there. Back set, here comes Namani. And scooping it over was Hanif. Namani with the drive.
And that is a pretty set. Boy, when the ball goes right to Robin Lewis, she is quarterbacking this team right on the money. The issue is Robin Lewis's knees. When she doesn't have the ball right at her, she's bump setting a lot because she just doesn't have the mobility to get underneath and hand set those balls.
Tom and Namani both hitting over 470. So their 1-2 punch is working too. Hochaber down the line. It's in there. And Stanford's going to complain on this one.
They get the point, actually.
I'm wearing some...
Up official overruling the line judge's call.
And... well, the line judge said it was in, didn't he? Oh, they're giving it to Stanford. Let's take one more look. Got a pretty good angle here. Well, that's out by a mile, don't you think? If she didn't touch it, might have been a touch. Maybe she got a little fingernail polish on it. 18-13. Every point crucial now for Long Beach as they trail big to Stanford. And Stanford playing marvelous volleyball. Robin Lewis. You know something, I haven't seen Robin Lewis play a lot this year, but she is much, much better than I thought she was. The hitting percentages, Tom at 481, and Weaver at just 250.
And Chris, the other big difference to me is Tom is getting support from her 0-2. Nomani and Tom combined have 24 kills. Right now, Weaver's number's low. The only other one making an impact is Hanif, but she hasn't taken enough swings to make a difference. And then nobody else for the 49ers stepping up right now.
49ers in trouble now. They're getting blocked, they're getting dug, they're getting outplayed. Hochaber, tip it. Lewis sets left. Namani, did she get the touch? She did.
Boy, that is a veteran play, and look at the freshman fired up.
Right, and Hanif said, I didn't get it. Let's see.
Watch the wipe. She's trapped here. This set is dying on the vine, fading inside against somebody that's 6'7". All you can do is try and wipe it off the hands. That's a huge play.
Lots of space up there to get a hand or an arm. And Hochevar puts it down.
Little swing offense from Hochevar, trying to get a little deception into their offense. A lot of crossing patterns now that you're seeing. Hochevar started out on the right side of the court, swung all the way out to the left.
In game one, Long Beach State was down 20-15 and rallied. Can the 49ers doing it here? Was there a touch? No. Point, Long Beach.
You know, Chris, the last 2 timeouts, John Dunning has spent the majority of the timeout talking to his middles, both McGee and Conrad. I think he'd like to see them establish a little bit more of an offensive presence.
Out of the back line, Logan keeps it in. And Long Beach having some problems, even on free balls. That was a good shot by Logan. Free ball, Lewis. Sets left, Namani's been hot. She cranks another one.
Free ball opportunity, pulling them in. Once again, Robin Lewis audibling, bringing Namani into the middle of the court. This is a 32 set. You see it's about 5 feet in from the antenna. That's the first time we've seen her swing, and I like that. Run away from the block rather than setting right to the block. Make Long Beach's block move.
Namani serves it out. Long Beach gets a point. Remember, in rally scoring, it's point per play. Now Namani will go out, and they bring in Michelle Chambers. 6-foot senior from San Juan Capistrano. 21-16 our score. Volkaren had to serve, and that's hit out. Stanford coming from behind in game one to win it 31-29 after Long Beach had 2 game points. Here in game 2, it's been all Stanford. The Cardinal leading all the way, and is up by 4. Logan Tom has been the hitting star, and there has been no answer for her as of yet.
And even when Stanford not passing well, that time Robin Lewis pulled off to the 10-foot line. But when you've got a player like Tom, you can go high outside every single time, and you're still going to score points.
Now, Emily Lawrence, when she's been serving, Stanford has been scoring 10 points in this rotation with her at the back line. Hochevar, Stanford with a nice block. Tom gets it back, and she puts another one down. 16 kills for her.
Knows that the ball is going to the Olympian, but how do you stop her? You need to commit. I think maybe even bring 3 people over. That ball, she's the only player that can hit that ball, so put up a triple block.
If you know you can do it, you could get over there, but I don't see Brian Gimalero's teams doing that much.
Well, he doesn't like to change things on the fly either. If they haven't been doing it all year, you won't see it tonight.
Good dig by Chambers. Volkaren's got it up. Hochevar with the slam, and Tom pops it over. Hochevar, who's a setter, back set to Weaver. Hochevar again, left side. Taylor has to tap. Tom is there. Into the middle of Conrad. Big rally here. 23-17. Hanif elongates. Lewis sets left. Logan Tom. Hanif digs her. Nishimoto. Weaver having trouble getting off. Tom again, huffing and puffing. Rips it. Hanif can't get it. Point, Stanford. Best rally of the match, Heather.
And no surprise that Logan Tom would be the one to finish it. Had varied her attack all 3 times she swung at it in that rally. That time going high hands down the line, making the 6'7" Hanif move in the backcourt. That's court awareness, knowing what defender you actually want to hit it at.
Serving is Lawrence. Pretty good pass there. Hochevar goes and gets it, and she pounds one through. Brittany Hochevar. Hochevar from Fowler, Colorado originally. Arizona, she hit 412, 10 kills, 4 aces, and here she goes again. If anybody can get the beat started, it's Hochevar.
And this is the rotation. They need to get it done.
Pass is okay. Here comes Logan Tom. Nice dig by Volkaren. And that's a point. Conrad blocked the set. You can't do that. And a good play by Nishimoto.
And Conrad has to wait until the ball breaks the plane of the net. Otherwise, has to give Nishimoto free reign to set her attackers. Good scoring rotation for the Niners. Weaver in the front row.
Lewis, quick set, nobody jumped, and Volkaren's great dig eliminated by a net call. Oh, check that, Stanford was in the net.
Yeah, Conrad just got way too tight to the net on that approach.
24-20, Beach prime for a run here. Can they keep it going? Perfect pass, around the horn. Logan Tom was blocked by Phillips, And it's a free ball, so they blocked Tom. They couldn't stuff her, though. Into the middle, here comes Phillips. Stanford has it. Logan Tom, goodbye.
Now that time, Weaver stayed on the right side to go one-on-one with Tom after she'd run the slide, but still, you've got to get 2 blockers up. Look at this, Weaver all alone. Nishimoto stays in the middle. Weaver's got to move in and take away that cross court.
Pass out of bounds. And Stanford scores another point. So the Cardinal controlling the action here in game 2. Brian Gimolero is going to have to think maybe about changing his rotation.
But you know what? He won't. We have seen in history that he will never change his rotation. He might change a player. I think he might change that 0-2 position. He's done that by keeping Phillips in, but he won't change what he's done all year.
Well, never comes sooner than you think sometimes. The Long Beach State middles hitting 0.59 and 143. Weaver 0.59.
Yeah, Thomas and Taylor are really the X factors, and that's why you're seeing Phillips in there right now, because he hasn't gotten any offensive production from anyone other than Taiba Hanif and Cheryl Weaver.
So Phillips in the back line, Hanif in the front line. So Long Beach State with a good rotation here. And Lewis, I think, touched the net. 27-22. Phillips will serve again.
Right now they've got to serve tough, mix it up, go short, deep, try and take Stanford's offense away with poor ball control.
They serve Chambers. Ivy tips, and Ivy drops it in, tipping right over the shorter Nishimoto.
And you've got to give a ton of credit to the Stanford coaching staff for knowing that that was a vulnerable position in Long Beach's defense. See how deep Hochevar is playing? She's ready to dig that line. Nobody is there to dig that tip, and that's because Nishimoto is such a small block. They know that they can pound right down the top of her.
Taking advantage of the matchups, it's called. Now Logan Tom, who has been sensational, set to serve. Hanif over the top, they dig her. Hanif, they won't dig that one. Taiba Hanif. Grew up in Laguna Hills. She has 11 kills. A great basketball player, a All-American track athlete. She can pop the volleyball.
At 6'7", just presents a different dynamic than anybody's ever seen on the floor.
Weaver had the serve. Namani, and she faces Lindsay Phillips. Phillips got it right in the face. A trip to the beauty parlor in game 2 for the facial. Ouch.
Boy, that'll humble you in a hurry.
That sure will. 29-23, 6 game points.
The freshman getting a little fired up, a little chatty out there.
For Namani and Stanford. Here comes Hanif, and Hanif going inside and down. 29-24. And now Nishimoto will serve. So another good rotation for Long Beach, at least at the net. But keep in mind, Stanford just needs one play here. One terminal play. Namani gets it. No! She flew it out of bounds. No touch detected. John Dunning of Stanford sitting on one timeout. Thomas, Ivy hits it out. 29-26, Long Beach trying to make one more run. It's still game point for Stanford. They just got to terminate. Namani, no! Hochevar stuffs her. It's 29-27. What a rally this would be. It was 29-22. Tom is in the back line. Would they set her? Why not? Here she comes. She's blocked. And Long Beach is behind by 1. This is the play, Heather.
This one's crucial because once they tie it up, it's a game to 2 and it's anybody's ball game.
Do you set Tom again?
I think you go.
Oh, Nishimoto served it out. And game 2 goes to Stanford. Now we talked about whether Brian Gimolero would switch his lineup. As you suggested, he would not. Cheryl Weaver is starting in the left front, so it's the same basic matchup that we've had the first 2 games. And Stanford has gotten the best of it.
And I talked to Don Shaw in between games, and he said, hey, in '99, when we swept Long Beach in 3, the same thing happened. We got Logan Tom on the matchups we wanted every single game because Brian Gimolero doesn't change.
course, the reason he doesn't change, he likes to go with his lineup. He's got a lot of substitutions. He plots and plans his lineup the entire offseason and trying to figure out who would play with whom.
Well, and he has so much confidence in the system that he believes in. I've had an opportunity to play for both Brian Gimolero and John Dunning, and they coach in drastically different fashions, but Gimolero believes in what his team does on his side of the court and is not concerned about the opponent.
All right, now, Stanford in command. They are doing everything perfectly. They're passing better than Long Beach. The setting has been outstanding with Robin Lewis. Logan Tom has been unstoppable. Namani has been virtually unstoppable. The middles have been good. Ivy has served. They're doing everything you're supposed to do to win a national championship. Taiba Hanif has been outstanding, by far the best Long Beach player, but she's not involved that much because Long Beach kind of out of system.
And they need to get to Weaver a little bit more too, and that's ball control. Yes, they can throw it up to Hanif when they don't have the ball control, but she's not getting pretty swings, and they just can't go to Weaver if they don't have a good pass.
Weaver, Heather, through 2 games, only has 5 kills and 4 errors. So she has had a slow first 2 games. There is the great Cheryl Weaver. Contemplating, can she rev it up here? Bad pass. Free ball coming over. Weaver's coming on the slide, and Tom blocks her again. Logan Tom, the greatest slide blocker that the United States has right now.
And the exact matchup that John Dunning wants right now. And look at that one-on-one with Nishimoto. It's the bonus package. Not only do you have Tom blocking Weaver, but with that matchup, you also get Tom hitting over Nishimoto. And yes, she's a good blocker, but she's just outmatched size-wise by the very physical Logan Tom.
Nishimoto stands 5'7". Tom is a 6-footer. Rips the jumper. It's 3-2 Stanford. And Stanford blocking up a storm. On the far side, that was Ashley Ivy who got her hands on it and give the assist to Tara Conrad.
And once again, we're seeing Gimolero go to his bench so much more than we've seen all season. Lindsay Phillips back in the starting rotation in the front row for Taylor. He needs some production from that second outside hitter.
He needs to pass a little bit better. The team not passing very well. Here comes Hanif. Logan Tom, great dig, joust at the net. And Namani is open. Tapping over the top and down, and Stanford is cruising.
Every single time that play is wide open with Nishimoto blocking. Hochevar is so dug deep, she's on her heels. You can see her move back almost to the end line to dig that hard-driven line ball. Not enough time to dig the dink.
Hanif, and Hanif puts it away. So Taiba Hanif, who has already received her degree in speech communications, she'll give the ball to Lindsay Phillips. And Phillips set to serve. 5-3 Stanford. And straight down. You know, I saw John Dunning in between games walking down the hall. He was kind of talking to himself. I said, Coach, serve out of bounds. He said, thank God, because we had lost the momentum and we were going into the tank. So he got a break there when Kerry Nishimoto hit it out. And the National Coach of the Year. Even if you're the National Coach of the Year, you got to get lucky sometime.
Better be lucky than good.
There you go. Ivy, and Ivy pounds it on the line.
Well, you can't say enough about Ashley Ivy's game this weekend. She has done everything that this team has asked of her, and all the intangibles that don't show up in the stat sheet, keeping the ball alive and keeping the transition game alive for Stanford.
Coming over the net, Long Beach in trouble. 7-3, could be 8-3. No, Stanford into the net. Stanford a year ago, 19-12. They were 4th in the Pac-10. They lost Lindsay Kagawa and Jen Detmer, but 11 returning players, and Logan Tom for the entire year, and that certainly made a difference. Serving is Weaver, 7-4, still chance for a turnaround if Long Beach can get its act together. Namani, tip long. And a nice play by Kerry Nishimoto. You know, I know what it's like to be a setter and to be getting crummy passes and your hitters can't hit. There's not much a setter can do if the passing is bad and your hitters don't perform for you. 7-5. Namani. Right over the top. So Stanford really taking advantage of Kerry Nishimoto.
Well, that's really the first time that we've seen Ogunna Namani hit down the line. She very visibly turned her shoulders to go right over number 10.
You know what I say, Heather? If you don't have to hit line, why bother? Why not just pound it straight down where you got
Do what you do best,
the
right?
meat of the court? If they can't stop that, if they can't stop you from hitting cross court, you might as well do that every time.
Well, and you get the sense that Cheryl Weaver's trying to compensate a little bit too much for Nishimoto
Maybe.
now. She's moving over to the line, and that'll just open things up cross court even more.
Nishimoto into the bottom of the net. And so, Agana Namani and Brian Gimolero, who's been very successful in national championship matches. He's won 3 out of the 4. Things not going his way today. Here comes Hanif. Namani with the dig. Out to Logan Tom. Nishimoto spears it up. Hey, Logan doesn't have to approach much to hit. She just jumps straight up. Going around the horn, and the put away for Sarah McGee. Sarah McGee, Tara Conrad, kind of the unknown soldiers, the workman-like people of this Stanford attack.
But they have added the diversity and the balance to really open things up for Tom and Namani, because yes, Weaver must respect them out of the middle.
Set left, and teeing off is Hochaver. She hits 100 serves a day in practice. That's how she's works on her jump serve, and they need her jump serve back there now. Hanif will spin it. Good pass by Sandrick. Tom expecting a higher set, didn't get it. And Elisha Thomas, who has not been a factor with the tip. Logan Tom, nice up by Nishimoto. And Hochaver with the put away. That could give the Beach a little bit of momentum.
Hochaver finding the sweet spot. Look at the area right in the middle of the court against a perimeter defense that is wide open. That's typically the blocks area to defend.
Namani is coming out now. Michelle Chambers back in. So Namani gets a break?
Yeah, wants to just give her a little bit of a break. She's not needed back there to pass and defend, and Chambers, a very good ball control player.
A serve for Taiba Hanif.
And that's just a lack of communication, serving right down the seam. That's the sign of a good server. You don't want to serve right at the jersey, but instead right in between.
10-9 our score. Logan Tom on the run, hitting the backslide all the way a la Karch Karai back in the mid-80s, starting on the left front, Heather, and hitting a ball all the way on the right side.
And so hard to defend, because watch the movement and the crossing pattern. She goes across the entire width of the court, having the blockers communicate, talk about it, and eventually there's no blocker up.
Emily Lawrence, who has served 12 points today. And Nishimoto starting to ride Hanif. Ashley Ivy got it up, tip. Nishimoto back set. Thomas. No touch. Point. Stanford.
Thomas now just 1 kill, 3 hitting errors. Nishimoto struggling to find a hot hand when Hanif's in the back row.
12-9 now. Game 3. Stanford won the first 2. Phillips. Hochaver sets. Phillips. Stuffed. And Robin Lewis. Red shirt last year with a shoulder injury. Wasn't even sure she could play this year because her knees are so bad.
And she is giving everything she has. What a courageous performance. She's wincing every single time she hits the ground on those knees. And she said to me, just 1 more day. I just need 1 day out of these knees.
And Emily Lawrence, how about her for the unsung server? Hochaver, ball dug, coming back over. Thomas has just had all kinds of problems. They're keying on the middle, so it's not a complete indictment of the Long Beach middles because they have blockers up. But Thomas, I bet she only 2 kills in the match, 3 errors. She's hitting negative.
Stanford's blocking strategy is to make Long Beach's outsides beat you. They want Taylor and Hochaver to get the swings.
Nishimoto got the dig, but no one going. The Cox Arena, a crowd of about 10,000. We'll get the specific numbers for you. The largest group of people to ever see a women's sporting event in San Diego. What a venue. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox, Stanford taking it to the vaunted Long Beach State 49ers, a team that came in with a chance to make history by going undefeated and winning the national championship at 33-0. But so far, Stanford has been the better team.
And there's a lot of pressure. They were the first team to ever do it. Nebraska, of course, has since repeated a year ago. And there's a lot of pressure to go undefeated, to know that, you know, you can make history. And Stanford playing with absolutely nothing to lose.
Well, if Hochaver could be serving all the time for Long Beach. They would do a lot better. She is pounding the jump serve. Lewis into the middle, and that goes out of bounds. The match really turned around in game one, in case you missed it. Long Beach State was up 29-27, had 2 game points, and couldn't put the Cardinal away. They came back and won game one. Cardinal winning game 2 despite a big rally, and Hochaver does it again. 4 aces for Hochaver. And we're tied at 14.
So much control. So many times jump servers have the velocity, but they don't have the control. Hochaver combines both of them.
Lewis back set over to Tom, and Tom thunders it through. Well, right now, the faces tell it all. We're in the midst of game 3. Stanford in the maroon uniforms, up 2 games to none. Long Beach State, #1 ranked and undefeated, trailing. And the Beach trying to make a run here. They got some needed points on Hochaver's serve. But, you know, the question is, Heather, can the 49ers play good enough volleyball to come back and win? It's one thing to get some points on aces, but they're being outblocked and outplayed.
Right, they've got one person scoring points, and that's Hochaver on the service line, and they've got Hanif offensively, but they don't have all 6 offensive weapons in system. Cheryl Weaver has just been shut down. Stanford's block has been so effective. They've triple-teamed her, double-teamed her, they've committed on her, and they've completely shut her down.
Logan Tom pounding that ball. Hanif, dug by Lewis. Namani. Hanif another dig. Right side. Weaver got blocked. Phillips tip, got nice shot by Lindsay Phillips. She is still not 100% recovered from the knee injury, but Brian Gimolero forced to use her in the front line, get some production.
Right, the big question mark coming into this season was who was going to play that L2, that second outside hitter spot across from Taiba Hanif. It's been Taylor, but they need Phillips, they need that depth.
It's a short bench for Brian Gimolero and the Niners. So Phillips got the ace. We're tied at 16. Remember, it's the best 3 out of 5 game match. First 4 games to 30. 5th and final game. If we get there, would be to 15.
How about the freshman going right inside the block of the 2 All-Americans, going up against Weaver and Hanif and still getting the kill. She's got ice running through those veins.
Monty has had a magnificent afternoon. Conrad serving. Good pass. Nishimoto sets left. And the ball spiked out of bounds by Hanif. Just the second hitting error by Hanif. She's hitting .452. But they really need her now. 18-16. As a team, Long Beach hitting just .206. That's the #1 hitting team in the nation, hitting that percentage. Tom. And Tom was in the back row. She's saying, why did I have to do that? Why me?
Clearly Ashley Ivy's ball. Lack of communication.
Namani got a touch. Nice shot by Namani. Valedictorian and student body president of her high school class, and the #1 volleyball player as a prep last year.
Just so humble. Reminds me a lot of Kristen Fokel her freshman year. Just a great attitude and spirit out there.
Ivy serves it out, so Long Beach gets a point back. 19-18. Serve Story, Stanford serving good. Long Beach serving Story's good too. Very good. In fact, better than good. Give it a superior there. It's the rest of the game. The 49ers are trying to shore up. And Logan Tom pounds it over. She played baseball and basketball growing up. She competed on the boys basketball team in the 4th grade. Because of a clerical error, someone entered her as Tom Logan, and they thought she was a boy and put her on the team.
Best part is she stayed on the team. She said, hey, I'm having fun. I'm going to stick with it.
And she was the tallest player. And somebody touched the net. She was the tallest player on her 4th grade team. And one of the best. So she grew up playing against boys, and it has certainly shaped her. A tough, very aggressive volleyball player, and a great one, Logan Tom. She's huffing and puffing. She does a lot of work for this.
She's had to carry a lot of the load, has taken the majority of the swings tonight.
Just a junior. She can come back next year and pound some more pelotas.
The big question mark for next year is, will Logan Tom remain with the national team during the summer, during Olympic qualification? There's a very late tournament in August and September, I believe, and if she were to stay with the national team, she wouldn't make it back in time to compete the full season for Stanford.
Well, maybe they can just bring her in for the last week and have her rack up 35 kills. Lawrence had the serve. Long Beach trying to get some momentum, but Stanford is tough. That ball out of bounds, and Logan Tom made a hitting error, stopped the presses. So Tom has 24 kills, 7 errors. She's hitting .333, 9 digs, 4 blocks. Damani chipping in with 17 kills, hitting .464. Tracy Bullcarrot serving. Weaver got a block there. Hanif goes sliding into Weaver. And Weaver perhaps having her worst game and worst match of her career. 6 kills, 6 errors, hitting 0.
And she is visibly frustrated. Watch the reaction after this goes into the net. I mean, there was never a chance for that to clear. She goes straight to the corner to get ready for serve receive. Doesn't talk to her teammates.
Way too low, Heather. They go over to Phillips. Nice up by Lawrence. Lawrence is a good defensive player and spinning it out. And Long Beach gets the ball back. On the line for Long Beach, a 33-match win streak. Undefeated, the #1 team in America. And they trail here in game 3. O'Jaber. Ivy tip. Yeah.
Once again, when are the 49ers going to adjust? Hochevar needs to read the shoulder of Ivy. Yes, she's hitting over a small block, but that tip has worked 5 for 5 today. There's got to be a point at which they bring that right back player up and bring middle black over to dig that line hard down the line.
I'll tell you what, you got to move up anyway, because if she's hitting over the small blocker, you got to get in there.
It's going to go straight down anyway.
Beautiful dig, Logan Tom. Set to Damani. And she puts it away. And now Logan Tom will serve. Just a junior, has already played in the Olympic Games for the United States, and she has a ticket to Greece in 2004. She's got the ace off the top of the tape. A new rule a couple of years ago. It used to be the worst play in volleyball, the net serve, and now it's a beauty.
And the volleyball gods are smiling on Logan Tom and this Stanford team. You know, it was exactly 10 years ago that Stanford won its first ever title in history by upsetting the #1 team and the undefeated UCLA Bruins, and it's a certain sense of deja vu today against the undefeated Long Beach 49ers.
Ashante Taylor rips it through, and of course UCLA had a couple of big guns then, Natalie Williams.
And Elaine Youngs, and both of them were neutralized in that match. And Stanford, of course, was led by College Player of the Year Bev Oden this year, led by College Player of the Year Logan Tom.
Stanford hitting .322 today. Long Beach just .196.
Don't forget, Long Beach leads the nation in hitting percentage, averaging .364. Just a dismal offensive performance.
Money done beautifully by Bullcarrot. Big play here. Long Beach can't get a swing. Still time to rally. Long Beach rallied big in game 2. Ivy, nice up by Weaver. Setter. Instead, they go Hanif, and Logan dug it. Point blank range. Tom hits it. Bullcarrot is there. Beach has got to have this rally if they have hope. Over the top, another fabulous dig by Logan Tom. Namani, not yet. Nishimoto, backline, Hochevar. She hit it out. Logan Tom. People said she was the next Karch Karai. Not of men's volleyball, of course, of women's volleyball. And she looked just like Karch there, digging it all.
Nobody all season long has found a way to defend Taiba Hanif until this match and until Logan Tom.
26-22. And Weaver puts one through. Playing to 30. Stanford, the team of the 90s, trying to get one in the 2000s, the lower 2000s. And now Weaver will serve it. Lewis. And pounding the ball through was Sarah McGee. Check the numbers. McGee's got 6 kills. Conrad, her buddy, with 7. And now Ivy will serve. Can Ivy get it in? Stanford just 3 points away from the title. Nishimoto set left. Namani got it. Going is Sandrick, and she can't get there. Sandrick started 13 matches last year on her horse. Couldn't quite get there. 27-24. Nishimoto, so that means Nishimoto in the back, a good front line for Long Beach. Deep serve. Set to Namani, it's low, and she hits it off Honey. Namani, the freshman, has looked like a fifth-year senior, composed.
Most players would swing away from Hanif, but instead goes right into the hands of the 6'7" blocker.
O'Gunna, Namani set to serve. Logan Tom in the front line. Long Beach trying to hang in. Namani, Tom throws it deep, and it's going down. Logan Tom having the match of her collegiate career. Remember, 3 years ago, Logan Tom played in the championship final and did not play well. The crowd is up. 25 kills for Tom. This could be it right here. Stanford, not yet. Pasting it through was Thomas.
And right now it takes perfect volleyball out of the 49ers. We saw at the end of game 2, a missed serve ended the game. So much pressure on Hanif right now to keep the ball in.
Second championship point for Stanford. Do they go to Logan Tom? No, back set. Ball popped up off the bat of McGee. Pochaver, she is roof! And Stanford has won the national championship again.